really interesting. And at the end of the day, I didn't realize that turkeys and chickens were not sexually compatible. But that's life, to be honest. So, hello, welcome to another episode of Sit Down for Stand Up. I have with me Kym. How's it going, Kym? Are you well?
It's going well. Thank you very much.
Love to hear, love to hear. So, a bit about the show. I mean, people should know by now. If not, more shame on them. It's your story. How did you get into comedy? Why did you get into comedy? Hopefully, people who are thinking about getting into comedy can learn, a little bit more of an insight. So, Kym, you're from England. I didn't even ask where, but you are now currently doing comedy in Belgium.
Yeah, so I've lived in Belgium for about 17 years.
Okay.
It actually feels like I'm on house arrest here because it's a country I don't actually want to live in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Really, it's the reason I got into comedy because so I came to Belgium with my, London boyfriend. We had kids together, and then I thought I could go back to England. We're both English. But apparently, when you've had kids in a different country and your last place of residence was a different country, you can't leave without the father's permission. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm on house arrest until my kids are 18.
They wouldn't get a British passport.
They have a British passport, yeah, but we have to follow the laws in Belgium. Yeah.
Oh God, you leave the
I
EU 10 years
know.
ago, they hold everything fucking against you, don't they? Uh,
Yeah.
so, how long have you been doing comedy? And yeah, why did you get into it in the first place?
Yeah. So yeah, Belgium has a lot to do with it. So actually I thank Belgium for that. Um, I had been going through like going to England a lot actually, to escape Belgium. And I was having a love-hate relationship with Belgium. One year I liked it, next minute I didn't like it. And then one year I had the most amazing Christmas, New Year in England, in London, partying and everything. And then I came back and I was just like, oh, I'm really depressed. And I had depression like I'd never had before. And then because I didn't want that emotion, I thought, what is an emotion that is stronger than depression? And I thought, that is fear. And then I
Okay,
thought,
cool.
what am I scared of doing? And I thought, oh, stand-up comedy. I'm scared of going on the stage and doing stand-up comedy. So I decided to Google. So I was Googling stand-up comedy courses in a weekend starting now. And I found the weekend course that Jay Sadoga does for Laughing Horse. And it just so happened it was that next weekend. So I just booked myself on it, did this weekend. What was interesting was that it was 13 men, 3 women, right? And I was like, oh, okay, this is what stand-up comedy is about. It's mostly about the men.
That's quite good
Um,
statistics, actually. Like the shocking actual balance on the circuit. I mean, I watched a bill last night. 12 comedians, 12 men.
oh,
And
okay,
but the thing is,
right.
though, the guy who runs it, I'm really good friends with him, and he was just like, "Look, no women have applied." And he was like,
Right.
"Look, it was like if a woman comes on, like jumping 100%, I'll bring her on." But this was in Essex, just 12 people, all men. So it's ridiculous.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was getting better, but it seems to be not. I don't know what's happening with the whole women men ratio in comedy.
yeah, because like what I found. Also, we'll go back to yours in a second. What I found it because whilst he brought on 12 very very good people, by the third fourth person, it was sort of like, well, I've heard this. I know where it's going. It's the same
Yeah.
jokes. And it was all like, like Essex lads, wee, lads. And I was like, well, do you know what I mean? It's like having a fruit bowl and all it was grapes. Like I want some variety. I want to hear different perspectives. I want different stories. And it was just
Yeah.
well, yeah, like I ended up moving myself all the way to the back. And it's just like, oh well, I'm just like here now. So yeah, I love a split bill.
Me too. Yeah, definitely. It has a different energy. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it's quite difficult in Belgium, I would say that is also very similar situation where it's often a lot of men on the lineup.
So it
Yeah.
started off with we say three lasses, 12 men, and how many got to the end?
So it ended up none of the men did any that went into stand-up comedy. It was the women. I found that quite interesting. Um, a
Parents.
few of the men were doing it because they're being pushed into it by their girlfriends.
Okay.
One guy, he was given this, weekend course as a birthday present,
Okay.
and he said, "I didn't know I was given anxiety as a birthday present." So, which was a good line, you
Brilliant.
know.
Yeah, that's very
Um,
nice.
and there were a few people doing it because of being a best man, and they needed to be funny because there's a lot of pressure on the men, isn't there, for weddings to be
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've never been a best man, so I wouldn't know. But um, yeah, they can be quite long and tedious if they haven't got a joke to them. So how did the so at the end of the comedy course, I presume there was a show reel where you had to get up and do your bits.
Um, actually, there wasn't a show reel. My sister did some dodgy recording, so it's quite shaky.
Yeah.
Um, so I was told that you either going to love doing stand-up comedy. It's going to be like, hold on a second, my daughter is trying to get into my house.
Oh,
Trying to get, oh, sorry, hold on a sec.
da, 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 da. Oh,
Yes. All right, I'm back in the room. I'm
that was
back in the
very
room.
quick.
That's what happens when you're, a mum
Yeah,
trying to manage the kids and still talk at the same time.
fine.
Anyway, so what were we saying again?
So comedy show reel. First time you
Ah,
either
yeah,
love it or hate it.
yeah, yeah. Someone said it's like taking drugs for the first time. You want to keep getting that first hit.
Yep.
Not that I've done that, but
False.
I can see what this person is talking about because I think comedy does, that hit of that laughter. It it does create that adrenaline.
The dopamine, yeah, the hit straight
Yeah,
off.
exactly. I remember the first few gigs I did, I was shaking afterwards because of how much adrenaline was going through my body.
Yeah. Do you still get nervous today?
I still get nervous, but
Good.
not as much.
Yeah, I still get nervous. Everyone gets nervous.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the really bad nerves you get. Um, but I think you have to have nerves. If you don't have nerves anymore, then it doesn't make it. I don't know. I think the adrenaline, that bit of adrenaline, keeps you going, keeps you on your toes.
Well,
You know?
I always ask, and because I was sort of come to this valuation the other day, or about a month back. Do you get nervous because you're worried for yourself, or you worried that you won't put on a good show for everyone else? So they care in nerves.
That is a good question. Yeah, I think you want to give people a good show, right?
Exactly, like you're not scared about speaking in front of people. It's more, I want these people to come away from this having a good time. So it's a care in nerves, which will
It
never go
is.
away.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, which is
I
lovely.
hadn't really
But
thought about that before, but yeah, it
yeah,
is.
which is the
It
nice
is
thing
about.
about that. So what type of comedy do you do?
So I used to do observational,
Mhm.
first of all. Then what changed was doing the G&B night out of the comfort zone.
Mhm.
And I decided to do characters for the first time.
Okay, cool, fun.
And I did three characters based on because I used to be a yoga teacher.
Cool.
So I did three characters based on teachers that I knew.
Mhm.
So there's a yoga teacher that loves themselves, and all they do is talk about yoga.
Yep.
A bit of a bimbo character, and then there's the spiritual teacher, always talks about being spiritual, very much like
Zen,
Kate Bush.
crystals.
Yeah. And then there is, well, it was my old teacher. I called her the yoga terrorist, and she's a scary yoga teacher. So I did these characters, and that Kyle from G&B said he really liked the this I call her Sky,
Okay.
the narcissistic, posy. Yeah, he liked that. So I thought I'd develop that character more. And so I started, yeah, going into that character, and that became my thing. And then I decided to go to clown school and develop further.
Oh, that's fun. So, why did you decide on them characters, and how do you sort of write material for them characters?
I had to think about what I know best.
Okay.
So I know I was a yoga teacher for a long time. I met a bunch of different characters who all annoyed me, especially yoga teachers. And I felt like I had to do a character or characters of yoga teachers. And then I just started thinking about the traits that are annoying about them
Mm.
and the things they would have said. And yeah, it just came to me quite easily actually, because when you are so connected to something, it becomes, close to your heart and you end up thinking of like really good material normally.
Okay. I was if they're all yoga teachers, then the props is quite easy on that one.
Yeah, yeah. And then I started because I fell out of love with yoga. I started to go
Yeah.
to yoga classes again so I could get new material. So,
So yeah, that's a double there. Two birds, one stone, isn't it? You get
I
yoga.
know,
Me
yeah.
too. Are there any characters you'd like to develop down the line?
Yeah, I mean, I've just started doing my new one woman show because I did a one woman show about called Namaste Blisters, which was about my experience as a yoga teacher and integrating all these different yoga teacher characters. And then now I'm on a different uh, one woman show called Holy Shift.
The shift, okay.
And that's about because I've got a teenage daughter, and it's about me navigating teens. And I revisit my teens by dressing up as a teen, which is quite scary.
What, modern day teen, or how you would have dressed when you was a teen?
When I was a teen, because it turned out, as one of my best friends told me, which I was horrified about, that I was a chav.
Okay, cool, fair, okay.
I know. So
Council housing, ASBO, violence. But that's what we used to abbreviate it as, didn't we?
without the violence, but just pretending I looked hard.
I mean, yeah, you look back the years like, well, I'm 33 and I look like how the girls did the makeup even back when I was at school. It was like the foundation pot head dipped in it and yeah,
Oh yeah,
like the ridiculous lip
Punch
gloss.
Foundation.
Yeah, God, that's
Mm.
evolved since then. So okay, how doing it for a while now, what's sort of been your favourite moment on stage then? Doing this in reverse.
Do you know my favorite moments of when I surprised myself?
Okay.
The one that comes to my mind is I think it's really important to have a mentor when you're in comedy. Someone that can help you through those tough times, who can push you. You go through so many confidence dips, in comedy, and I don't know if you've ever said it, but I'm never going to do that again or never go on stage again. You have those moments where you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, every time I go on stage and I'm thinking like I'm like with a killer lineup, I'm like, oh my god, every single one of these people are better than me. They're not going to laugh at me, but then they end up laughing. So yeah,
Mm.
I still always get that massive anxiety before. I mean, there's been times where like I've gone up, I've done a joke, and I'm sort of like, why the hell did I think that was funny? Like, I've lost them in the first like minute, and it's like, oh my god, why did I think that was funny? So, have you got any times yourself where you think, oh, I had a killer joke, and you look back and you think, like, what was I thinking?
We've gone on to another question. I was
We
about to
have.
answer the
So that's how it
which
flows.
question shall I answer?
Do yeah, do the time bombs.
Oh, you want me to when I've bombed on stage?
Yeah, and like like your moment, like why did you think that was funny? Like, oh,
Well, I'm going to twist this one a little bit
by all means.
because it see, Belgium audiences can be really, you never know if you're funny or not, okay? Because a lot of them they laugh inside, right? And there's one time that I did so well in my comedy, and it got such a great response. I did something quite risky in my comedy, and I'll tell you this story basically. So I'm always told I should take risks in comedy, right? So normally I would do character, I do storytelling, but I don't talk about sex or anything like that. It's not something I normally do in comedy. But I decided to take a risk one day, and I decided I was going to talk about dick pics, porn, and uh, wanking, right? Don't normally talk about these topics, not something, but it was just a thought, okay, I'm going to do something new. So I did this, and it went down really well. The next day, my son, who was 10 at the time, he said to me, "What did you talk about in your comedy?" And normally I'm really honest. Okay. And I went, "Oh, you don't want to know. You know, you won't understand." And he was like, "Make me understand."
Yep.
So there was that moment because we're walking along, and I thought,
Mm.
"Oh, do I tell him? I mean, he's going to learn about this at some point. They all have their mobile phones."
Mm.
So I made this decision to tell him. Okay, so I explained, yeah. The one thing that he was most confused about though was the dick pics. He said,
Yeah.
why would men want to send dick pics?
That's the
He's
right attitude to have, first of all, straight
well,
away. That's
yes, exactly. And I said, well, men seem to think that's how they get a girl, and that's how, they are attracted to that. And he said, well, hang on a minute. So say they get married, do they have the picture of how they met and the wedding photograph?
brilliant.
I thought that was really good. I was
That's
like,
good.
oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, I talked about how we had this discussion, me and my son, in Belgium, right? And it went down so well because I was taking a risk, talking to a child about these topics. I was a bit worried, but I thought, no, okay, I'm going to talk about it. And afterwards, I had all these parents going, "Oh, can you give me, advice about, how to talk to my son, my daughter?" And it was like, "Whoa, hang on a minute, this is quite overwhelming. I wasn't expecting this." So then my good friend Georgia thought, she said, "Why don't you do that in England, in London? Why don't you try that set in London?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, I will." Because it went down so well in Belgium. Now, the audience was mostly men in their early 20s.
Okay.
Okay. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if they're going to get this." So anyway, I was on stage, and it gets to the point where my son asks me, "Well, make me understand." And then I say, "Well, if you want to learn about porn, it should be coming from your mom." And the shocked faces. I thought, especially Londoners were more open-minded because there was one guy who went, "Fuck," really loud because he knew what was coming. And it was just the look of horror from all the men in the audience. And then, yeah, I mean, I had to walk the walk of shame after that. Hardly got a clap. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Because I was gonna say a gasp can be as good as a laugh
No,
sometimes.
no, no.
But it was.
And the men, I was sitting in between two men afterwards, and they wouldn't even look at me. It was like, how dare you? I was
That,
so shocked.
that seems more of their problem, to be honest.
Yeah, I think what happened is that I basically threw a mirror at all the young men
Mm.
who, porn is a everyday thing, and then suddenly you bring a child into it, explaining what it is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't learn about you. So, how would you say sort of like the main differences are between gigging in England and gigging in Belgium?
In London, I think I'm more relaxed because I know that any references people are going to get.
Mhm.
You have to really shape your comedy because a lot of people don't get references.
Hello? Got to the reference bit, and then you have frozen on me. You have frozen on me. You're back now. So you jolted a little bit there.
Oh, I jolted.
Yeah, we got literally to the differences between UK and Belgium. UK, you're less nervous because
So then I went and froze.
on
I
that bit
froze
there,
on the screen.
on the beautiful Oscar-winning monologue you just gave.
Oscar-winning monologue. Oh, I was a statue. Um, yeah, you really have to write your comedy for a universal audience. You can't bring in any English references or stuff, or if you do, you have to explain it. So you kind of lose the joke. So it can be very difficult. Also, when people don't laugh, they laugh inside,
Mhm.
or they're smiling. Yeah. I remember the first gig I did in Belgium, and the MC said, "Okay, you'll be lucky if you get a laugh."
Okay, brilliant.
That's really encouraging. Um, and I was so thankful when I got a laugh. I was like, "Oh, I got a
Mm.
laugh." But actually, I have those words in my head every time I do a gig. You'll be lucky if you get a laugh, because then I put my expectations down, and then when I get a laugh, I'm like,
And I think what sort of level are we doing at the moment? We're doing the open mic set. I don't know how it works in Belgium. Five, tens, paid, open, mid, close.
so I guess I'm semi-professional, so I get
Oh,
paid for
yep,
gigs. I
standard,
also do the open mic because it's really good to just practice,
100%.
keep practicing. Um, yeah, I mean, you get more likely to get paid in Belgium. Um,
Mm.
yeah, that is a good thing.
Okay, and
In the
what
Netherlands, not so much.
what's sort of like the comedic community like in Belgium? Like, what are the other comedians like? Because I mean, I've spoken to a couple of them and they've been absolutely lovely. So I sort of know the answer.
What's the answer?
Well, most of them like speaking to Jenny, Thomas Tarjo, Mona, like they've all been really friendly.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say, it's very male dominated. And that is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
And there are some comedy clubs that are just predominantly all men.
Okay. And how
Mm.
do you find being a like a female in a male dominated sort of like creative
Well,
arts
I think
field?
because I'm older, it's easier for me, but I know with the younger girls, they get hit on and they have to put up with some really sexist comments from MCs, and I think it's really hard for them.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, like, I've had a lot of women on some like attractive younger girls on lately, and some of the stories I have heard have been truly shocking. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's opened my eyes to it a little bit because I don't know, say unaware of it, but no, I have been oblivious to it. I haven't noticed it, but then I think like the worst villainous things happen behind closed doors almost. So has been shocking. When it comes to doing character comedy, does um does it like entail quite a lot of crowd work?
Yes. My latest show is a lot of crowd work, because there's a religious aspect to it at the beginning. Because my daughter, when she turned 16, she came out as a Catholic.
Oh god,
So that was hard for me.
disgusting.
I know. I'm like, what? You're rebelling in a different way from
Yeah,
me?
it's 21st century rebellion now. I
Yeah, I
have found
know.
God.
Um, yeah, so that does involve, my show involves a lot of crowd work, especially people confessing what they did in their teens, which is quite nice. Although the last time I did the show a few weeks ago, it's the first time I've upset people. I
Oh,
don't
that's
think I've
fine.
upset people in my comedy before. Because I asked, are they any Catholics here? And in the whole front row was full of Catholics. And I think it was a family. It was like a daughter, like her son, a brother, and then the grandmother was there, the mom
Oh,
and the auntie, and the grandmother had some issues with me. So when I said, "Oh, well, my daughter came out as a Catholic," the grandmother started on a go at me, saying, "What's wrong with that? What's
oh,
wrong
you're
with
at
your
a
daughter coming
comedy
out?"
club. Shut up, sit down, and
And I said, "Can I just
uh,
carry on with the show?"
yeah.
And she wouldn't let it go, and she was still asking me, "What's wrong with that?" I was like, "Oh, hang on a minute." Yeah.
So how
And
would you?
at the end, she said, when I finished, she stayed to the end. She said, "I will pray for you." And she didn't say it in a good way.
Oh yeah, I hated that. I had that quite a lot in school because I was an atheist Christian school, and I had a, oh, I'll pray for you. It's like that is such a bitchy remark. Like yes, that's like what's it called, like mean girl energy when they're trying to be nice. Like, and it's oh, it's such a
Yeah,
cop out.
I
So
know.
how would you say like your crowd work's evolved over the years because doing character comedy?
Yeah, do you know what? I find it much easier to do crowd work, especially deal with hecklers in character.
Okay.
Um, I've had quite recently a lot of drunk women heckling me, and it always seems to be groups of three women,
Oh, okay. The power
right?
dynamic.
And it happened. I did a competition at the Museum of Comedy, and there were three women, and I could see they were getting drunker and drunker and drunker, and I was on near the end, and I thought, oh no, they're gonna start on me because they were becoming quite leery, and then I came on, so I came on as myself, and the woman was being a parrot, and she was repeating things I said, and I had to tell her, like, excuse me, can you just like quiet down? And then she started getting a bit aggressive. And then I changed into a wig and went into character. And then I could deal with her better. And I could say things quite biting, but it was in character. So it's said in a nice way, but in character. Whereas as myself, it could have caused, maybe a bit of aggression from her.
Okay. I mean, I always find that quite interesting because I'm quite similar in that regard. Everyday life, I'm quite introverted. I wouldn't say boo to a goose, but on stage, I don't mind shutting someone down,
Yeah.
and it's almost borderline like a superpower.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Like
Yeah.
you are a completely
Superpower.
person, and it was like you can do because it's like, oh, it's not me, it's you know,
Yeah, exactly.
thing thingy talking. Okay, and so what's the idea, like the perfect goal for comedy? What do you want out of comedy in total, and what does the comedy world get out of having you in it?
Oh,
Philosophical
nice,
side.
nice, nice. Do you know what I love the most is the writing process,
Okay, awesome.
which is probably unlike most comedians. Um, I just love the writing, and hence why I like doing one woman shows because it really gets me into the writing sphere and
Yeah.
really bring out my story. Um, I would love to do SNL, like if the UK did that, their own version, which someone said they might be doing. I heard a rumor. Um,
Would it work over here?
yeah,
Our
I think
comedy is
so.
very different to. I don't know.
Back in the day, especially in the 90s, there was a lot of sketch comedy.
Oh, 100 Monty Python is my mecca.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%. Yeah, as long as it didn't become Americanized, as long as it kept its
Yeah.
like British values, then I think yeah, it could work. To be honest, so that'd be like the
Yeah,
penultimate goal to like.
I agree. I think I'd like to write for other people, comedy writing. Let them shine.
Okay, and how do you like go about writing a joke? Do you sort of do it like like the Seinfeld? You'll sit there for a half hour a day, no matter what, or just like you get your bursts of muse, usually 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I do it in bits and drabs, right? So whenever I'm out, I have my notebook with me. I like to write by
Okay,
hand. And I'm always inspired by something. It could be something small, but every day I am inspired by something, a little bit, and I write it down, and then my notebooks just fill up.
okay,
And then I will sit down and, look at what I've written. Like with my show, I'm doing a show with another comedian at the moment, and that's about age, and it's about how we're not allowed to grow old anymore. And I'm being inspired by even going into into the chemist, and you see all these. You can't just buy moisturizer anymore. It has to be, wrinkle defy, wrinkle eradicator moisturizer, or all these fancy words. This is the thing at the moment. I'm writing down all these different moisturizers you can buy, and yeah, so inspiration
okay.
comes everywhere.
And would you just do it as like the premise, pretense, and then the punchline, or would you write it all out word for words?
I'm more into writing it as a story.
Okay, cool. Yeah, same
Yeah,
here. That's how I do it as well.
yeah.
I do so I've got a Word document. I think it's probably got about 14,000 words on it now. It's like 40 pages of jokes. And when I want to learn a bit, I write it all out word for word. And then I do another Word document and then I do a dictator phone. And then I say it and I look how closely matched I was.
Oh yeah,
And I
nice.
keep doing it like that until I'm like, okay, like, I got it 9 times out of 10. Pretty much like all like the adjectives are in the right place. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the metaphors all there. And then, yeah, that's how I do it. I'd be too nervous to go on and be like, people say, "Oh, I don't write." I just go up there and free ball. I'd be so nervous,
yeah, yeah.
to be honest. Like, so yeah. And I'm sure you'd agree with me. There's no right way or wrong way to write comedy. It's however works for you.
Yeah, and I think going out there and having new experiences also brings you, into a comedy sphere. We don't do enough new experiences, basically. And that's how you can get new material.
And just chatting and ripping with other comedians. Like
Mm,
I've got a group of comedians I work with over here. Not work with per se, but my mate Abdul's a Muslim, mate Malike's a Turkish Muslim, um, my mate Albert, black dude, which is most like opposite black name in the world, but his name's Albert. And like, if I think of a black joke and stuff, because I'd never do them on stage because I couldn't do it justice. But so if I
yeah,
think of a good joke, I'll send it over to them and be like, look, see if you can work with this because like I'm not going to do anything with it. But just because I can't do anything with it doesn't mean I still can't write it down and try and turn it into a joke.
yeah, right.
And that's what I sort of love. So like, do you have that sort of like community over there?
Um, yeah, I find it better what with another person, just a one other person, so we can have like banter and go back and forth rather than a group of people. So I do have a good friend comedian here, and we talk a lot about comedy. And then I have my good friend in London, and we talk about comedy. We go back and forth. And even through conversations, it's funny when you speak to other comedians and you say things that you don't realize are funny, and they go, "Oh, that was really funny. You need
Mm.
to write that down."
Well, that's one thing I love about doing about this podcast. Like when things do come up, I'm like, oh, there's a bit there. I was like, oh, like, you can have that. As
Yeah.
I was talking to a Jewish girl yesterday, and it was saying about like reduced sounds like it's got a Jew in the name.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, that's yours. You can take that. Like
Yeah.
that's fun. And actually, I wrote a bit last night at 3 o'clock in the morning. Haven't used it yet, but it was from a conversation I had yesterday. And this like, well, I was watching this guy on stage, and he was like, "Oh, it's lovely to be in Essex. My girlfriend was from Essex," and I was like, "This could work anywhere." So I think of doing a bit, but instead of saying like the name or like my girlfriend, be like, "Oh, it's lovely being in insert name." I've got a really soft spot for insert location, and I went to go see the insert local museum, but say all the insert bits.
Yeah, right.
So
Okay.
like like oh I had a hard time because my ex insert random white girl's name. And I thought, oh shit, like there's something there, maybe.
Yeah.
Like probably not, but yeah, hey ho. So we've done stuff, we've done characters. Have we done any competitions at all?
Um, Not many. I did the recent one was at the Dabbers Bingo Comedy Caller.
Oh, fun.
Um, yeah, it was fun, very difficult though, trying to do crowd work, call out numbers, be funny, and also keep it to 10 minutes. Yeah, that
Run me
was
through it. So you had to just call out numbers.
yeah. So you call out the numbers as your own character. So you have to create your own numbers. So for
Okay.
me, for example, as the ditzy yoga teacher, it'd be like number two. You don't have to be flexible to be do yoga. It's number two, like that. That's how she speaks. But
Okay.
yeah, you had to do your own
Okay. Well,
unique
no, we're gonna. So I'm
style.
gonna say a number, and you've got to yoga it up.
God.
71.
Um. Oh my God. Yoga's not a competition. Yes, it is. It's 71.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
I mean, it didn't have to rhyme. It just had to be in character.
I was always good at doing dirty bingo.
Oh.
Like, but you'd always do the like, oh, the age that'll make me come, 71. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what's my fun time? 69. Like, I don't know why. Like, I was because as I said, like off pod, like, I used to be a bingo caller as like one of
But
my
did the
first
old
jobs.
people like that?
No, you weren't allowed to do it. Weren't allowed to do it because if you said something like
Yeah.
it had to always just be like all the twos, 22, 7 and 3, 73. It was boring because if they misheard you and they got it wrong, because the second it goes past to the next number, they can't call it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
Yeah.
there'd be absolute fucking uproar. Oh, actually, I'll tell you a quick fun story about working at bingo. Um, this is one in Bexley Heath. Don't know if I should say that or not, but fuck it. There's the link up games, which is like once every single gala bingo in the country all join for one game. So the prize pool was usually like between like 20 and 50,000. And I've only had it twice in 18 months. Someone in Bexley Heath won it. I was working both of them shifts. And the first one time, someone got it, they won it. It was a daughter and a mother. And I was quite near them. And the mother was like, "Oh look, let me claim it for you." And she was like, "No, no, it's my money. Like, fuck off. I won it, not you."
No.
Um, Went through to the end. ID'd her. She was using her sister's ID. She was 17, so she didn't get the money.
Oh. Oh, what?
Yeah, that's why the mum was like, "Look, let me claim it for
Oh,
you."
yeah.
But she was like, "No, it's my money. Piss off." 17 didn't get it.
Gutted.
It just, but
Oh.
uh, that's life. So at Par Bingo, which sounds amazing. Where was that? Was that in
It
Belgium
was
or?
Dabba's comedy bingo near Hoxton.
Okay, cool, fun.
Yeah, they're trying to make it quite trendy with the disco and it's quite campy. Um, yeah, it's a different kind of bingo. I don't think older people tend to go. It's more sort of hen dos and
Yeah,
that kind
fun
of thing.
bingo as
Yeah,
such. I
yeah.
mean, is it actually like prize pools and stuff?
What?
Is there anyone, I don't know, like prize pools and stuff like people do actually win money or something?
Um, I think they win prizes, not so much money and drinks. I think it's all about the drinks, right?
Yeah, to be honest, like
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. Okay, with like how society is nowadays, and there's quite a lot of sensitive areas of topic. Uh, what's your thoughts on can you joke about anything?
Uh, it's a tricky one. Do you know what? In Belgium, I think they seem to talk about things they shouldn't really talk about at times. Um, I'll give you an example.
Perfect.
There was a comedian on the open mic circuit, and he was talking about loving Nazis.
Loving
Uh,
Nazis.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I was sitting next to this Jewish woman, and she went, "Doesn't she realize this whole place is full of Jewish people?"
Hmm.
And then he just started going even deeper into the whole Hitler thing.
Right. The one
Um,
I hate it when comedians double down on a shit bit.
yeah,
Like you're not getting like accept it and be like, look, okay, that one wasn't for you. Move on. When people double down on shit jokes, that is
yeah,
one of my
yeah,
pet peeves. But sorry, go on then, yeah. Hitler lover.
yeah. It was awful, and it was like deadly silence, and he was still not getting it. It was like, please move on, but no, still going deeper and deeper, and it was just painful to watch.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there are most things you can talk about, I think, but you have to be sort of mindful of your audience, and this comedian wasn't.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
My fear is that I don't believe there's no such thing as I'll speak about in Bloom. There's no such thing as punching down, but you need to be aware of the persona you're giving off on stage. Like I said,
yeah,
I could bang out like racist jokes, Muslim jokes, all day. One, I don't find them; they're not my cup of tea, but I don't do them justice. Do you know what I mean? Like the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and the persona I give off wouldn't give. Even if I wrote the best black joke in the world, my persona wouldn't do it justice.
no,
So it's better off me sending it to my mate who's a black dude who could absolutely kill it. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
so I believe you can joke about anything, but yeah, be aware of the presence you are giving off.
Yeah.
That's like, so Mr. Nazi lover, he not you, this guy was a bad one. What's the worst thing you've seen someone do on stage?
But this was a long time ago. This is at the Edinburgh Festival when I was in my 20s.
Okay?
And can I mention names?
That's up to you. I don't cut or edit anything.
Johnny Vegas just got naked on stage.
Hey, this is my second Johnny Vegas story I've had on the pod.
Yeah, I don't think he drinks anymore, but
No, why is it always Johnny Vegas?
it was a 2 o'clock in the morning show, so he must have been drinking like all day. Um, and you couldn't really hear what he was saying. He was slurring his words, and then he just got his kit off, I think, because no one was laughing. So I remember me and my sister being horrified.
Was he known back then?
Um, I knew who he was. Um, but yeah, no, I think he was, but not maybe as famous.
Hmm. Because the other one I got told, who'd seen him, he was doing a gig in a church and he pulled his trousers down and took a shit on the stage.
Oh
They've both been Johnny
God.
Vegas. What?
Oh no.
Doing in his younger years of comic. Well, it worked. Like he's famous now. Maybe we're not taking enough shits on stages and getting naked. Maybe that's the
Wow.
niche. So, both stories I've had about like the most famous person, like in got like one of the most famous people in comedy, have both been Johnny Vegas.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah. I think back in the day, he just, yeah, didn't care.
I
So,
think I think it's quite funny that was it. I saw it on Good Morning Britain about 2 weeks ago. It's like Johnny Vegas has just been diagnosed with ADHD. It's like no shit. I could have told you that. Like, then okay, I've got an interesting one. It's like I've been thinking about. With ADHD and things like that, they're now drugging young people to sort of calm them down. But having ADHD does open a creative floodgate in the brain.
mm.
So, in a level, would that be censoring creativity? Like, are we not going to get as many? Like, we'll get comedians, but we won't get as many characters, as many clowns, because everyone will be more numb.
No, I don't think so. I think there is clowning is really starting to come out more, um, you know, on the stage. No, I don't agree, actually. I think it's going to open up more creativity.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, because I'm speaking to one of the ones one of mates in Brighton who does a character, and yeah, he said like getting alt nights has become a lot more difficult because people aren't really doing characters as much.
Oh, okay. I haven't really noticed that.
Okay, well, perfect.
No.
It's nice to see that he's still like live and thriving. Then does that? I'm not. I don't go to like alt nights as much. I don't go to like character nights as much. So sort of just you focus on what you're doing yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to distinguish it. Like I did my character the other night, and it wasn't a alternative comedy night. It was straightforward, open mic. I decided I was doing a character.
I absolutely love character comedy. Like one of my favorite ones, and I should be guilty saying this, but I don't know if you've seen him. Is Frank Sinatra.
Oh yeah, I saw him at the Edinburgh Festival last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so funny,
really
so
funny.
so funny. But everyone needs to realise that's not him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh, just yeah. Frank Sinatra and Adolf Hitler combined is just yeah. No,
Oh no.
and
I
that was
know. And like I had my hand over my mouth, was like, am I supposed to find this funny?
yeah.
Like I'm feeling bad that I'm finding this funny.
If
Yeah,
he
it was
did that in
brilliant.
London nowadays, it wouldn't work. I don't think. But
I don't
elsewhere in
know.
the country, I think we'd absolutely kill it. To be honest.
I mean, you know what you're going in for if you're gonna sign if you're gonna go along to the watch him, you
Yes.
know. So you can't be offended because by the name already is offensive to some people. So don't go and watch him if you're gonna be offended.
No. Or yeah. Well, like people who sit on the front row and then get annoyed when they get spoken to.
I know.
It's like
I
the
don't know. I wonder if people like being offended.
maybe it is there. Well. yeah, maybe it's their kink almost, getting like put down.
It gives them something to talk about rather than the weather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, no, very true. Actually, yeah, like, media ripped the shit out of me last night. Oh, yeah, look at me, I'm part of something. Yeah, could do. So,
Mm.
go on. I will end it with this one. So character comedy. I'll do it more from the perspective then of character comedy. If somebody was thinking about getting into comedy for the first time, they had this alternative persona that they wanted to perform on stage as a character. What advice would you give them?
Make sure it's not completely based on someone you know, like a friend. You
Mhm.
need to bring in other traits from other characters so you can sort of disguise, that the character, it might be based on your friend, but bring in other traits.
Mm.
I had a situation with when I did Namaste Blisters and had quite a few yoga teacher friends, well, sorry, ex-friends, coming to see me, um, and they brought their kids. And I was a bit worried because some of the characters were based on them, but I'd brought in other like different traits,
Mm.
so I could disguise it. And then afterwards, all these yoga teacher people were like, which character is me? Because my children seem to think it's that character, but then they weren't sure if it was the other character. And so they weren't sure, you see. So that's how I wanted to keep it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. You know, but that's outright, yeah, mimicking
Yeah,
that person because they might take offense. But mimicry is a form of flattery as well. So
exactly. Exactly. And actually, do you know what? I've got so many friends that want me to do a character of them.
yeah, I'd say that as a compliment, 100%, to be
Yeah.
honest. But Kira, it's been absolutely amazing for having you on here. Thank you ever so much for coming on. It's been wonderful. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Great talking to you.
Yeah, and yeah, when you're in London, let me know and I'll try and get on the same bill.
Oh, that'd be great.
Uh, Mate, cheers, Kim. Thank you. Thanks,
Take
guys, for
care.
watching.